Hmm. It's 11:19 p.m. Monday, December 8th. Well, one of my renters is really being a pain in the ass. He went to the Walmart bank and he said the guy insulted him, so he's going to write a letter to the president of the bank and get him fired and complain because his family's friends knows the bank president. I don't know why he got left Walmart, other than he probably got fired for his criminal record. They found out about him, and then he has some other job he says he's working on. I mean, he's a pretty good fucking liar to keep things going, but I mostly ignore it as long as he's paying. Doesn't, but he just fucking be a pain in the ass. Well, another young guy come here, got drunk a couple of times. This guy yells at him. They yell at each other, and then the young guy was drunk the other night and said something about he wants to kill him. He's gonna kill that guy. And I said, I heard it. He's just yelling like he does sometimes when he's drunk. And so that guy said he called the police on him. The police came over and they didn't arrest the guy who made the so-called threat. And it was mostly just yelling at each other and the guy's drunk. And so, I said I was better to call the police on him if he doesn't shut up, but this other guy did. And then he's sitting there talking to the police, threatening them for not arresting him. And he's going to file a report to the police chief. And the cop stood there and said, you're just sitting there talking to us like we're fucking, you're talking down to us. This guy's just insane. He is insane according to he's on the internet listed as insane. He said his brother had him locked up. He's a lawyer, same law firm my dad was a lawyer at. I'm not quite sure. The guy is fucking. It's a young. He goes out to restaurants. Every person who's younger comes in here. He tries to boss them around, tell them what they should be doing. Insults them or something. He starts preaching his Catholic Bible, calling everybody brother or sister. He's fucking off his rocker. He does the same thing when we go out to eat. He'll offer to buy dinner sometimes or lunch. He starts talking to the young workers and asking them. And hell, the HVAC guy came over to do a tune up. So he's out there talking in the parking lot. Can I have your card? This guy is, I mean, he's got something about where he was standing in the bathroom in high schools or something, trying to talk to young boys or something. He's got something wrong with him. He won't leave. He said he doesn't have enough money to leave, which I believe. You know, he brags about going to Benedictine, or no, an Atchison Benedictine. No, he went to some other school. He starts snotting off like I think it's a school founded and owned by the founder of Domino's Pizza or something. Who fucking cares? Okay, you're better than a flunk out of kindergarten. I'll give you that much. You're still a fucking idiot and you're crazy. He accuses everybody. He complains about all the noise. Nobody else can hear the noise but him, and he's not even in the same room with the other people. He's just a big fucking goddamn lying, two-faced idiot. I went to help him buy a bike. He told the clerk in the sporting academy, he said, kill him. Then he acts like, he starts bossing me around when I'm driving him. He's paying me $25 an hour, so I drive him. He starts bossing me around, nitpicking on how I drive. He's just a fucking idiot. I can't stand him. All I can do is take his money. But then things are getting out of hand. So I said, I'm going to, file paperwork to get you taken out of here. He's threatening me with everything. He's just, I don't know. I hadn't gotten this bad with this idiot before, but he's really fucking, he needs to be locked up or he needs to be put in something because he's fucking insane. And I'm sure everybody who's lived here would testify they can't stand him when he bugs them and harasses them and is fucking a fucking lunatic. Pisses all over the bathroom floor. I was really pissed off. He really got me going today. Of course, then what I do? I had to go to church. I went to church for the music concert. That band was pretty good. Kicks band. Yeah, I remember some guy at Wednesday night dinner who they mentioned, I guess, is in the band. It was a good band. I guess they're called the best jazz band in Kansas City. They were good, playing Christmas music, jazzy Christmas music. The church was about halfway full, I guess. I was wearing my green jacket and Santa Claus hat, and I wore it when I went into the store hen house over there, and the one of the girl cashiers was like making comments, and then I wore it to the tavern bar. After I ate dinner at Minsky's, so I had two $10 gift certificates, but they wouldn't take the gift certificate. So I went to Hen House. I took it at Hen House for some coffee, and then I went to the tavern bar, and I was wearing it. Some people were laughing, joking with me. Some people were giving me, and of course, guy bartender comes out. I think he says the girl bartender, he's not supposed to be in here. I have no idea who he is. He looks like some guy I've seen around town who goes out putting on who goes dancing. He used to go to Studebakers and everything. I remember him in Funky Town. Seems like I saw him recently dancing somewhere. Like he said, Wade remembered me and I remembered him. I didn't know him. And this guy kind of looked like him, but I think he's younger and taller. When I said, did I hear you say you're going to pay me $1 million a second to sit here wearing my Christmas clothes? My jacket and shirt. And then I just kind of whatever. Wasted 30 minutes in there drinking some coffee after Minsky's pizza. I went to Prairie Village Church and wore my green jacket and Santa hat. And, there's a few comments, a few people looking at me. Some people I recognize looking at me, and some people just, Guy came up wearing a green jacket and he said something. I said, "Hey, green jackets, yeah." Then afterwards he said something, and I'm wondering if he was a homosexual. I don't know. Of course, there are people looking at me, laughing, joking, saying nice jacket and everything. Then I went down to, I was going to go to the plaza and look at the plaza lights, but I couldn't really find a place to park. And the hotel parking garage had a gate closed. I wasn't going to pay $20 to park and go up the elevator. And then I looked at the lights from the car, and then I went down to Crown Center, see what Crown Center and Union Station, walked around there a little bit, saw the Union Station Christmas stuff, and some people making comments. I said, well, you can get a picture with Santa Claus for $1 million, but it's Monday, so it's half price, 2 for 1 night, And a few people, are laughing, joking around. And then I go down to get on a trolley and go downtown to the Power and Light. Everything was closed basically, except for that McFadden's bar. And I guess they had wrestling down there tonight. Sprint Center wrestling, pro wrestling down there. Didn't know that ahead of time. But people, walking around. I guess was getting out when I was down there, and I was getting comments on the trolley. Then I was gonna go back and try to find a place on the plaza, but couldn't really see anything. That Grand Filene last time, it seems like they ripped me off. Or if I got a Diet Coke, they charged me 3 times. If I got a refill, I don't know, whatever. I was gonna stop on the way home one night, but I decided just go home. I drove down Mission. So I go through the old neighborhood and see if their house, mom and dad's old house was lit up some. Going down the old neighborhood, then I didn't stop anywhere. I just came home. Merrill Lynch, you still owe me $1 trillion for the trespassing bullshit. And you owe me $1 trillion for saying my degrees don't matter. You owe me $1 billion a week, a paycheck for every week since kindergarten diploma. $4 billion a year hedge fund paychecks, minimum wage for me is past due since kindergarten diploma. because your representative there said my degrees don't matter. That's a flunk out of kindergarten equivalent. That person doesn't matter, and minimum wage for me is based on $4 billion a year. Hedge fund paycheck, past due since that kindergarten diploma, and because I said the same thing in Topeka at the license office. So if people are seeing these things, that's the way it's got to be. And the people who disrespected have to pay the price, the ultimate price. They have to be fucking disrespected and spend the rest of their life in prison. It's not remotely acceptable. And the New York headquarters never calls me back, so it's not acceptable. One time it's this, one time it's that. It's not acceptable. BL. Yeah, there were some used people on there, subway, looking at my green jacket, and I know I thought it said Buffalo on their T-shirt or hat, but it was Houston. They were here from Houston for the game yesterday. I said, well, good luck, Houston. Chiefs are basically out. Yeah, they're not mathematically eliminated yet, but realistically, they're out of it. So, but they can bounce back. Tom Brady dynasty in New England. They didn't. They had some years in that dynasty. They did not make the playoffs. They bounced back. So I'm sure the Chiefs will bounce back. The ball was bouncing off people's hands for deflections and interceptions and missed passes yesterday, and they're good, tough. They're going to upset some people. They're going to spoil some people. They're going to be a spoiler. They're going to spoil some other people's playoff dreams, I guess. But there's no way in hell they're going to make it right now. Mathematically, it's possible, but really, I don't think there's any way in hell they're going to make it. So Smith Barney, you owe me $1 trillion. Payne Weber owes me $1 trillion. Every punk involved spends the rest of their life in prison. Fucked up. Ask me if I care, punks. All the Nazi ass scum need to fucking meet their maker and spend the rest of their lives locked up in prison.